Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? So let's see what's going on over here. Says here the most frustrating aspects of dating men, according to 7 women. Ooh, yikes. Whether platonic or romantic, all keyword healthy relationships have a common thread. The persons you've chosen to be part of your life brings you some sort of joy, and he or she serves a purpose and plays an active role in contributing to your happiness. Maybe not in everything, everywhere, and all at once, but for most part, that's what makes them special. Everything, everywhere, and all at once. Isn't that a movie? Otherwise, what's the point? Got it. That sort of self-reflection that can lead someone to finally cut toxic people out of their lives. Uh, that goes for marriages, lifelong friendships, business. Like, we don't need so many examples. When it comes to the latter, it seems more and more women are tapped into their inner Mary J. Blige. And Mary J. Blige, the constantly single woman that had to pay her ex alimony, proclaiming I can do bad all by myself, choosing singleness over the societal glorification of being LMA booed up. Okay. According to the 2017 report data analysis Mintel, women are generally happier flying solo than men. No, that's completely incorrect. In fact, at the time of the survey, 75% of single ladies surveyed said they weren't even looking for a partner. See, this is the things that bother me about when people do uh, data analysis, or they do surveys and stuff like that, is that they don't apply critical thinking to the data that they get, and they just randomly just like, okay, well, it says this, so no. No, that's not true. Women aren't happier flying solo than men. Is that men would be honest and say they would rather be with someone, whereas the women would proudly proclaim that they're happier single as a coping mechanism, where if one party is being honest because they're not trying to protect their feelings or try to create an image of happiness being single, and the other party is trying to create that image, is what you're seeing is essentially that one party is a little bit more willing to deceive you for the purposes of protecting their social standing or their image or whatever. It's you're not correctly identifying what the data is actually telling you. One of the main reasons was that heterosexual relationships were harder work for women. I'm pretty sure lesbian relationships are way harder for women. I don't know what you're talking about. Uh, there's evidence that women spend longer on domestic tasks than men, and I think they also do more emotional work. No, no, that doesn't make any sense, because emotions are a personal responsibility because it is your emotions. So you're not doing more emotional work, you're just more emotional. That doesn't that doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. How are you doing more emotional work, but you're always the one that's more emotional and always more sensitive? If you're always crying and you're doing all this emotional work, you're obviously not good at it. Explained Emily Grundy, professor of population science at the University of Essex. Women tend to be better at having alternative social networks and other confidants, whereas men tend to rely quite heavily on their wives for that and have fewer other social ties. No, 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 no. Women have alternative social networks and confidants because they need that. That is a biological thing. Women protect themselves through the group. They need the group, whether it's women or other men that surround them, to protect them. So they're more inclined to create these social networks in order to benefit in some way, either protect themselves or receive resources or whatever it is. They're more likely to do that. Whereas men have hobbies, spend a lot of time by themselves with their hobbies, which means they're not engaging in a lot of social groups unless they have a small group of friends or whatever, and they don't heavily rely on their wives as confidants. They don't heavily rely on their wives. Their wives require them to open up. That is different. If in order to be with someone, they constantly ask you about, or they require you confide in them, that is not the same as you relying on that person. It's silliness, absolute silliness. Emily, I don't know how you became a professor, but you're an idiot. Uh, this idea of women being content by themselves scoffs in the face of the imaginary American media has spoon-fed us for generations. Still dumb. It, women aren't happier by themselves. That's just dumb. Like biologically, it doesn't make any sense. Women need the group. Like it's literally built in, hardwired into their instincts. Like, what do you what you it her as a woman, she should know that a lot of women, it's very difficult for them to maintain friendships because they lie to each other. They're fake, and their friendships never get a lot deeper because they're afraid of offending each other, and that would break the friendship immediately as soon as someone gets offended and someone's feelings get hurt. So a lot of the relationships a little fake, but they still have a lot of those fake relationships, regardless of them knowing it's fake. Why? Because they're just more inclined to be social. Like it's just how things are, which means if you're saying they're happier by themselves, you're not making any sense because that goes against their nature. That's like saying men are happy to not have sex. Like, uh, huh? But it raises an important question about the state of the modern dating scene. With that in mind, we reached out to 7 heterosexual Black women. A lot of specifics in this. All right. DEI got your tongue to get their honest perspectives on the topic and how they find their happy place with or without a man. Knowing a woman's worth, oh God. I'm happier single, but it's not because I feel like I have to do more emotional work than a man. That hints at their leading questions. There are men out there that work just as hard, if not harder, to show their women her worth. Okay, but a lot of men just don't do the work on themselves first. Right. That's what makes it hard to be with someone. If I'm going to therapy, relearning myself and understanding who I am, I expect my man to do the same. Yeah, maybe because he's mentally healthy and you're not. If I'm going to the hospital and I'm getting my leg put in a cast because I broke it, I expect my man to do like you doesn't make any sense. If you have an issue and you're getting it fixed, the other person doesn't have to also fix themselves so you feel better. You have the issue, take responsibility, and know in your head, do be a little bit more self-critical and be like, okay, I have this issue, I have to fix this, and I have to be mindful that I have this issue. You don't then just turn around and be like, okay, I have this issue, but you have this issue too because I'm feeling a certain way and I feel insecure. Like you're not obviously not doing the emotional work that you're talking about because now you're projecting. One thing my best friend told me that I will never forget is the man I want exists because I exist. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The man I want exists because I exist? Huh? I stand firm in that because as a high value woman, I want a high value man and I wouldn't settle for less. Rose, 31, New Jersey. 31-year-old Rose, probably overweight. I'm just saying, odds are she's overweight, uh, considering the demographic. Yeah, uh, this is dumb. This woman is not very bright. If I'm going to therapy, relearn myself, and I understand who I am, I expect my man to do the same. Men really offer Mars. Being single comes with a lot of benefits. You can fly to Budapest on a whim just because JetBlue is having a sale. That sounds very impulsive and stupid. And if you happen to meet a cutie, you just showcasing stereotypes. Women are impulsive, led by their emotions, and they tend to make uh, terrible financial decisions Because you see a sale, now you're just gonna go on a flight. How much has the consumer system just locked you in for life? You're part of the religion now. You two can grab some mimosas and see if there's a vibe. And then what? You're in Budapest. You have to go back home. However, loneliness befalls us all, and I think men will oftentimes venture down unhealthy avenues to quell that feeling more so than women. Excuse me? Did I not mention that men have hobbies that they spend a lot of time by themselves doing? I've loved and known awesome men, but holistically, it feels as though men are always searching for a woman to either ground them. No, that sounds like something you listen. You only truly understand your own emotions, and to project on other people what they want just doesn't make any sense. You either ask them or you find out through their actions. But you like, it seems like they're searching for a woman to ground them. What does that even look like? What does that actually look like? You're just saying things. Uh, How do you, or protect them from their own instinctual destructive ways? Why would someone who have instinctively destructive ways be looking for someone to protect them from it? That doesn't seem very instinctually destructive to me. Ladies need to stop making stuff up and actually learn about men. Like, how lazy, how intellectually lazy do you have to be to just start making shit up about a person instead of actually finding stuff out about a person? Even some of my past male friendships were laborious at times, laborious. Uh, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure male friendships are a lot easier to deal with than female friendships. With the way they mind me for my emotional strength. Huh? It's literally a key feature of men is that we have more emotional strength. It's literally one of our key attributes is that we're more emotionally stable. Are you insane? All right. Intellect. They mind you for your intellect. What are you doing? Trivia nights? Oh my God. And the intimacy they wanted but couldn't articulate. God damn yourself involved. You're just like, I'm just the star, and everyone just wants to be around me because my energy, my intellect is just the best. God damn, these women are no wonder they're going to therapy. It's been my experience that men are never truly enough for themselves, and women are better at forming communities outside of romantic friendships. Doing something more doesn't make you better at it. Men are better at forming communities outside of romantic relationships, i.e., we built the goddamn world. The cities, the countries, communities outside romantic relationships, we do it better. Shaniqua, 38. All right, Shaniqua, you need to really get over yourself, you self-involved bint. Love is a balancing act. Some of my most cherished friendships are the ones I have with men, but on the other hand, romantic relationships I have been work. Many men are socialized to think they're superior in the male-female dynamic. Superior. No, sweetheart. Men are socialized to think that they should take charge and be more assertive because the women tend to not like to do that. That's not superior. It's called leading. Women like a man that takes charge. It's asinine to turn around at the person for exhibiting the behavior that you want and then turn around and criticize them for said behavior. It's insane. It is literally insane. This becomes increasingly difficult for educated women because we can hold our own in life and in conversation with men. If men are the barometer for your accolades, if you're saying you're great because you can hold conversations with men, guess what? Men are better at it. Many of the men who have been interested in me or who I've dated, posture, this idea, posture, this idea of shared values and dreams for the future. Yeah, I just had to look at that again. Like I was like, did they mean to use that word? Okay. Dreams of the future, but at some point, all of them began to perceive me as their competitor. They perceive you as their competitor, the individual that is trying to compete with them. They perceive you as a competitor, and what you're just minding your own business rather than their partner. You see the projection? Ladies just, they expose themselves all the time, and no one wants to call them on this. I've had an ex make snide remarks comparing his IQ to mine. Did you bring up the conversation, ma'am? Did you bring up a conversation about how smart you were? And then he just responded. Is that what happened? Because I guarantee you that's what happened. If you're like, oh, I have all these degrees, a lot of people are so surprised how smart I am, and then he's like, oh, well, yeah, I got these degrees too, and my IQ might probably higher than you. Like, you invited that energy into your life. Spark a strange competition for who has more passport stamps. Sounds like you were bragging about how many countries you've been to. Again, you're telling on yourself. Like my achievements rattled his sense of masculinity. Projection. Many men seem to be overwhelmed by the challenge of being the equal of a woman who is educated, independent, and has a successful career, is achieving the life she wants, and who is driven towards success, and tend to be miserable and dying alone, and they go insane. There's a reason that Karen became a thing because a lot of those women are just single and they're old and they're alone. And guess what they do? They lose their shit. Personally, I enjoy my boyfriend's company, but there are definitely times I miss not being responsible for someone's heart. Okay. Sounds like you hurt a lot of people's feelings because you're selfish. Not because I want to be out in the streets, but because I'm not certain that my boyfriend is who I'm supposed to be sharing offspring with. Probably because, ma'am, you can't attract someone better and you think you're more attractive than you are. The weight of that uncertainty is cumbersome and sometimes make me wish I was still single. Tracy. Why is there an asterisk? Okay. Even some of my best male friends are laborious at times with the way they mind me for my mood. The quotes. How many more of these ladies we got? Building life together is key. When it comes to relationships, I find a lot of men hold past their hurt and reasons they're not up to match my energy. I hate to generalize, but I think women are happier being sent. Oh my God, Rachel, 45. Take it slow. Allison, I'm not sure women are happier being single, but we deal with it better. Okay. I've actually stopped looking for a final partner. Okay. You're 37, so that makes sense. Wow. Well, I think we get the point. A lot of these ladies are coping. Till next time.